Hello everyone, I am Eris and welcome to a dual mod review. Today I'm going to be covering the Hollow Masters and Hollow Charms mods, which are two mods that add several features from Hollow Knight and Silksong into Minecraft. But without any further ado, let's get into things. So first, there is a guidebook that gives you instructions for both of these different characters in the Hollow Masters mod. It's very intuitive and quite useful, however, obviously you're watching this video, so you don't need it. Here's the basics. So first you take one of these totems. This one is the Totem of Hollow Knight, which should technically be called the Knight, but whatever, I'll allow it. And this one is the Hornet Totem. Then you put your wonderful totem in your offhand, and then once you die, you become the Knight. And then you need to craft Nail. When you're transformed into the Knight, you actually cannot wear any other armor, but it gives you max armor bars anyway, so there's not really a purpose. That said, you gain a myriad of useful abilities in this form. For starters, like in Hollow Knight, you can parry off of mobs when attacking them from above. You do need to be looking pretty much straight down for it to work, but it does allow you to crit anyway and does a sizable amount of damage. And then once your soul bar is full, you actually gain a few other abilities. First up, I'm really happy that I didn't destroy the item frames, but you gain this. It is a pretty far-range projectile attack. It's pretty good for dealing far-range damage, and you gain the ability to heal when you hold X, with the projectile being used by pressing B. Additionally, when you press Control, you do a little dash, and that is all for our knightly friend here. Now, the Knight is very fun to use. I mean, if you're looking for a Hollow Knight-esque experience in Minecraft, I would definitely recommend using the Knight. You can also use the totems one after another to switch between these forms. And now I am Hornet. When you become Hornet, you actually get Needle immediately, as opposed to having to craft it like with the Knight. Hornet, of course, does work similar to the Knight, however, there are a fair few differences. Starters, when you press Control instead of dashing, you glide, and you can also press A while in the air to do a drop, which accelerates your speed, and allows you to parry off of mobs. It's not easy to chain these together, however, it is very fun if you get a few in a row. And then once you are full of thread at the max level, which is indicated by the circle there being entirely white, as opposed to only having some, which will just slowly fill up the bar underneath the circle, you can use Hornet's ability to heal herself. However, even without a full silk bar, there is one more silk ability that Hornet has access to. You can rain nails from the sky. Now, onto the charms. These are dying wishes, which you sometimes collect from killing mobs. You can use the dying wish to craft a broken charm. Then a broken charm can be used to craft non-broken charms. Here's the first of our charms, the Grub Song. The Grub Song makes it so that whenever you take damage, you gain saturation. Up next is the Unbreakable Strength. Obviously, this gives you strength. Next up is the Unbreakable Heart, which can be crafted with any crop, but here I've used potatoes as the example. This gives you permanent +2 hearts. Next up is the Lifeblood Heart. This gives you another +2 temporary hearts. Obviously these two won't regenerate, but it will be a big help in battle. Next up is the Lifeblood Core. This gives you 4 instead of 2, and yes, it can be stacked. Next up is the Joni. This one gives you a plentiful amount of extra hearts, but at the cost of them all being temporary. Here, as you can see, I have a lot of hearts. And when you take it off, it does this. Next up is the Sprint Master. This one gives you plus 120% speed. Mind you, if you use this in tandem with the Knight or Hornet, that is an extra speed boost on top of the one you already get from being transformed into them from the other mob. Next up is the Dash Master. This one gives you an even greater speed increase. If you're going to craft one of them, I would recommend crafting this one since it takes the exact same material, just in a different pattern. Next up is the Heavy Blow. This one is definitely very expensive, but it does give you extra attack knockback and plus 200% attack damage. Next up is the Quick Slash. A lot of iron swords. This one gives you plus 132% attack speed. Another item that would be very useful with the weapons from the other mod. Next up is the Carefree Melody. This one gives you a chance to just not take damage when you're attacked. Next is the Fury of the Fallen. This fills you with rage when close to death, aka you get stronger when you are close to being dead. Next up is the Thorns of Agony. It's essentially the Thorns enchantment. Next up is the Steady Body. This one gives you plus 10 knockback resistance. Next up is the Balder Shell. Plus 150% armor and plus 150% armor toughness. And a blast is the Stalwart Shell. This one grants you simple resistance. Wait a minute. What is this? Oh my. So first I have to introduce you to Void. This will deal damage over time to you. It's also crafted from this stuff. If you take both sides of the King Soul, you get the King Soul Charm. Union between the soul and heart, you slowly regenerate health over time. If we craft another King Soul, and surround it with Void, we get the Void Heart. And as seen, if we creep into here, we no longer take damage from the Void block. But of course, who would I be if I didn't test these out in combat against a boss? So as the knight, it seems I wasn't quite able to defeat the Wither. But can Hornet finish the job? Holy shit. So ultimately Hornet was able to defeat the Wither, but not without a lot of trouble. Problem is, 2 of the 3 bosses in Minecraft can fly, which doesn't bode well with characters that need close range weapons, and especially for Hornet, because Hornet's strongest attack requires Hornet being above her enemy and then slamming down. However, it is still very possible, especially with the use of these charms from the separate mod. It just requires a lot of work. But ultimately the fight might go different for you. I mean, I probably could have beaten the Wither as the Knight if I tried it again with a little more experience now, but I think ultimately it came down to if the Knight could only jump higher, I would actually have been able to shoot the Wither with my projectile attacks, but since they don't go where you look and instead just go in front of you, it wasn't super useful. But that's all for me. Who's your favorite? Have you tried the mod? Are you going to? If you know anyone who likes Hollow Knight or Silksong, forward them this video. I'm sure they would love to know about the existence of these mods. Honestly, I would rate both of them 9 out of 10. They are very, very good mods, and they go perfectly in tandem with one another, and I would highly, highly recommend using the both of them. But that's been all for me. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment about which form is your favorite, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Like and subscribe!